Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Seek Therapy Podcast. It's me, Jasmine,
And me, America.
And Jasmine Ty.
and we are back. So, how's everything been for everyone this week? What's been our highlight? What's been our challenge? I am coming off of spring break, and so that was really nice and restful. Initially, I was going to go to Florida to hang out with my friends. And then I was like, oh, this is like in the thick of like Easter and all that. And so, because y'all know I fly for free, I'm not trying to be stuck nowhere. So I decided to just stay home, start with the packing things up because we're going to be putting the house on the market this week. Um, I finished my CEUs and another book. So like we was talking about, I finished 15 books so far this year. And my goal for the year was to read 30 books, and I'm already halfway done. So like I said, I'm going to be increasing my goal to 52. We gonna see. We gonna see. And also I'm seeing some progress in my health journey. I did like some updated pictures of myself because the scale, we don't know her, but the pictures, we know her. And so I'm finally seeing like some definition. I'm seeing the mom uh, pouch kind of slimming down. It's giving Snatched Beyonce come September 4th when I am at Beyonce's concert. So I'm feeling really good about that. My challenge, though, is that on Tuesday, so we came back to school on Monday. On Tuesday, I did my workout, I showered, got myself ready, had my coffee and water, my lunch, all of our stuff in the car packed. Went to go and get Janae. She had a fever.
Mm.
So it was like, well, I guess I'm not going to work because Joe had been at work already for like an hour. And so I also learned that I didn't have any more sick time. So I only have half a day sick time. So I'm only gonna get paid 4 hours. So that was just a challenge because I'm like, we still have 2 months of school left. So, and Janae has been averaging a sickness a month. So we're going to see. But yeah, that's been my week. How about you, America? What's been up?
So I'm doing okay. Highlights. All my notes are done. So that's always a plus.
At Michael Fullweiler.
Correct. Period. Stop trying to send for us when we ain't come for you.
Didn't.
Okay. Been drinking my water. I found a new lash girl, which made me happy because y'all know I've been struggling with service providers, so that's been great.
I mean, struggling.
For real.
I don't understand. So all those things have been good. Challenges: the puppy got shaved, and looks like
something crazy.
We would like to see.
That's okay.
Wait, did you do like the lion cut or something? Silly?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I would like to say that while yes, I do have a Labradoodle, and I know people like to give Labradoodle owners hell for their inability to comb their Labradoodles. That was not the case here. Our usual groomer wrecked the mobile van on her way to our house for the appointment a couple of weeks back because it was raining and totaled their van. So as a result, we went to PetSmart. Don't take your fucking animals to PetSmart, y'all. I don't give a damn where it is or why. Just don't do
As
it.
a cat owner, I could have told you don't take your dog to
Please don't take your dog to PetSmart. So we go in there, and she was really fluffy. And the lady immediately sees her and was like, "We're gonna have to shave her." And I said, "Wait, hold on." I said,
Mhm.
"You have the same texture hair as me, and she does. So when your hair is tight and thick, do you shave your head immediately, or do you want somebody to look at it first?" I did, y'all, because I don't have fucking time. So she gets on her knees. I'm on the floor. She rubbing through said dog. She's like, "Okay, I don't feel any matting." Yeah, I know. Her legs feel a little tangled, but like that's okay. Great. And yet, 2, 3 hours in to the appointment, I'm sitting at home working, and I'm like, "Where the hell is my dog? I ain't heard nothing. Ain't nobody said nothing." I call up there and I'm like, "Hey, I'm just calling to check on Snickerdoodle." And they were like, "Oh."
Oh,
And when he
uh,
said, "Oh,"
oh, hell
I just put
no.
my shoes on
I would say grab your car keys, go
because at
get your
this point,
girl.
I already know. So I was
Oh
like, "Oh."
no.
He was like, "I mean, you can come if you want to." I
And what
said,
did you
Going on in
mean
North
by
Carolina.
that?
I said, "What you mean?" And he was like, "I mean, she's ready." And I said, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I said, "You seem a little hesitant, sir." And he was like, "I mean," I said, "I already know what that means." I said, "Bet, I'm on my way." No, why when I got there, everybody that worked there was in the back hiding. Because I think I made it clear when I walked in there the first time,
Don't shave my dog.
don't shame my dog. So when I walked in and realized the only person that was in the front was the man, and he clearly was on the defense and ready to go toe to toe. So I went toe to toe with him because he popped off with me. So like, okay, let's go. And they brought out my dog, and my dog don't look like my dog.
What they do? I want to see her. You looking at her?
She not gonna, right? I'm like, she's not gonna let us.
Oh,
I'll show you
okay.
on camera.
In my mind, she has the lion cut, which
Oh
is
no,
like,
that's more
okay,
hair than she has. She don't have that much hair.
Take a pic.
you didn't pay for it, did you? They didn't charge you for the service, right? What? Bar? What in the
And
Scooby
the
Doo?
only reason why, because when this happened one time before, and the only reason why I paid for it this time and didn't pay for it, or why I paid for it this time, is because I wanted her cut down pretty low because I know she's been hot. Like we taking these walks, we 15 minutes into the walk and she is panting, sweat, drooling, everything. So I knew she was hot. So I wanted to bring her down so she can like actually enjoy our walks and run and play and all of those things. But I didn't mean Skinner.
Mm,
I didn't mean Skinner. That's not what I meant.
she naked.
She is booty butt naked.
Mm-mm.
Not the
You're
top.
lying.
I wish I was. I'm not. So that has been a challenge to not fight nobody.
Shout out to everyone who Googled what a Labradoodle looks like with their original coats, like I did, just so I can have some context for this.
I can tell you what before and after.
Well, no, no,
Oh,
no. I remember your Christmas
send it.
picture.
Oh,
Yeah.
that ain't even her at her cutest either. That was after getting groomed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hit the
wow.
chat.
Dang. Okay, so that's definitely your challenge.
Yes.
Woo! Oh, um, damn. Not the puppy though. Okay. My highlight is that my prescription for my antidepressant is back on. I finally
Period.
went back to the doctor, corrected some insurance mistakes that were done, and went and got my yearly physical, and went ahead and refilled that Celexa Boo. So yeah, I'm excited. I should be able to go pick that up actually tomorrow. Now I'm thinking about it, if it's not already there. My now I didn't see the actual doctor. I want to say I saw a physician's assistant, but I was asking her if there's anything on the market that could help me with jump starting my weight loss that's not phentermine, because I don't like the way that that makes my heart feel. And she really sat in my face and talked about Ozempic. I was like, no, wait a minute, not for the diabetics. Um,
Oh no.
yeah. So I just say that to people out there, Ozempic is a medication meant for people with diabetes. And if you were buying it for weight loss, look into the market because there has to be other stuff out there because you're spiking up the prices and availability for people with
That
diabetes who
actually
need
need
the
it.
medication.
Right.
So prying her some more and telling her that I wasn't comfortable with that, she let me know that there is something akin. But that's just for people out there. Yeah, do your research. Um, I would say my challenge on the other note is that, like Jasmine had touched on, um, it's the end of school. We're nearing it. For us, we end at the end of May, and the kids
Nice.
are one part stressed about their upcoming state exams, but then on the other part, they are just going crazy. So it is a challenge. My challenge, I literally wrote down them kids and so yeah, I have a few parent teacher conferences coming up this week. And then after that I'm done. I'm done talking to you. I'm done talking to your kids. We gonna see you at the end of these report cards. How about that? Period.
How about that? Um, well, you know that I love to put people onto new things that I am reading, listening to, working out, all things new. So let's go ahead and get into new and learn what's new with you, boo.
Mm,
Well, I just finished the Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. And it was crazy. It's a thriller mystery situation, deals with murder, deception, sex work, like all kinds of shit.
oh,
Um, Disappearance. It's just, yeah, very interesting. Um, and I started a book club that I am getting together, and it's called the Lituation Book Club for the girls,
interesting.
for the girls and well, for everyone that enjoys twerking with a book.
Mm,
I had a I had a nice little caption created and well for the bio and Instagram was like too many characters. So getting lit with my peeps.
getting lit for the literature. Mhm.
Literally.
What you did there.
What about you, America? Jasmine.
Oh my gosh. My new I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before. When I left Pilates, well, it's in studio Pilates. There's still living room Pilates. Um, I started Diva Dance, which is a dance class where they're teaching you choreography, and each session is like a different theme. So some nights it's heels, sometimes it's interpretive. There's chair dances, there's floor work, um, and the song like they put out like their
Well,
full
tell me
calendar.
some.
Yeah, you like pick what day and what song I really just based mine on like what song I want to dance to. And I started in January and I'm noticing now that like in the hour I'm like starting to like slowly but surely pick up the choreography. I find myself sweaty when I leave. And I like it. And it's they're basing it off of their motto is community and oh my god, I'm blanking. Not compassion. It's something, but they gas you up. Community and the gas, right? There's no judgment. And so yeah, so shout out to my local chapter. I enjoy that. Yeah.
Nice. I know that's
Yeah.
right. Twerk some, baby.
Ow. What I was talking to you.
Well, America, is anything new with you?
No, I'm still on book number damn two.
Bookmarks still in the same damn place.
No, no, it went up some. It went up a couple
Okay.
pages.
All right. All right.
But still on the same book, chair.
So what I'm hearing is taking your time to devour a book is
Yeah,
your new.
yeah. We can say that. I told y'all last time I was waiting for my Audible credits to renew, and so those renewed, and I started listening to before I let go. And honestly, it's something about this is very different than the last book I listened to. So it feels like I'm there,
Mm.
but like I think because that's the only time I sit still throughout the day, it was like they were telling me a story. And baby, I woke up and it was like chapter 3, and I said, "Oh wait, no, hold on, bitch, we were still on chapter 1 in the middle." So that happened twice actually, but now I'm on chapter 3, I think. When does the man start talking? The husband start talking for the first time, wherever that is. That's what.
Probably two.
Don't do me. I'm pretty.
All right.
No, because she talked twice, and then
Oh,
it was him, right?
okay. I don't remember, but
Oh, I know, because shit. But no,
America wants to fight me.
I do. And in case y'all don't know, I'm
Fight
finna
you.
block her
I
on
would say
all
fight you
social
and
media.
block you.
I'm finna block her. 15 books, and I'm struggling to get through number 2. But anyway, no, just joking. I love that you done read 15 books. But yeah, so I'm still on that. But yeah, eventually I'm gonna have an update. I love the book so far. I would like to fight. So far, I would like to
Vashti.
fight. Yes, I want to fight her. The minute she said she walked in that restaurant and baby girl was cheesing a little too hard, I was like, "Yep,
Hmm.
we're gonna have to fight her." Um,
Yeah,
so I definitely have an allegiance already to Yasmin,
me too.
which
I
is not
did.
to be.
Also, her name.
Yeah, that's not surprising, but yeah, love it so far.
Yeah, I really liked being able to read from both of their perspectives, and
Mhm.
I found myself as a therapist being like, "Just fucking say this."
Yeah,
Yeah. That
yeah.
happens a lot. Yes.
Hmm.
Express yourself.
We be therapists and shit.
I
Therapizing
tried to
and
turn it
shit.
off though. I was trying to read it from just like I'm just reading
Person.
to read. Yeah. So anytime I wanted to be like, well, bitch, you could just say, I was like, nope, this your process. Go ahead.
Right. Just read it.
Maybe that's why I was
Just
asleep because I was like,
because you had to turn
I
your
was like,
therapist
wait.
brain
I
off.
was like, okay, bitch, never mind. Yeah.
That's the same thing that happened when Joe said that we should be more present. He fell asleep.
Yeah. Never fails.
I'm like, so present.
Never fails.
That's
Shit.
funny.
But yeah, I feel like coming off of last week's conversation about falling off the wagon, I think it would be helpful to give people some tips for hopping back on the wagon and finding yourself back, you know, in the flow of things.
Yeah.
And so when I talked about this, I was like, let's just talk about our little experience and then we can give them some tips that we tend to take when we're getting back onto things. Um, and so I see that Janae is home, so I'll let someone else go first.
Shout out to Janae. All right, being the only one off mute. I'll go ahead. So we all know I've talked about last week with being avoidant when I feel overwhelmed. Uh, for me, I can be in a funk and not really fully acknowledge it, but there are some things when you just know yourself that you do. So I'll be completely transparent. One of the things that I know that I'm off kilter with is when I start avoiding showers. It's just one of those things. And I look back on it and I realize that it goes back to my childhood. I remember getting in trouble when I was maybe in the fourth grade with my dad. So in our old house, my bathroom was right at the top of the stairs. And so I would go in the bathroom, run the shower, put on music, and like dance in the mirror for however long. and then I would like put my pajamas on and leave the bathroom. And like, but that was like my time. Even though I was an only child, that was my time alone to decompress, to be myself. No one's gonna like jump in on you in the bathroom, right? They may not knock to enter your room, but no one's gonna like pop in on you back in the bathroom. So that was my space to just be by myself. And I remember distinctively getting in trouble because my dad had come to the top of the staircase and I guess like laid down so you could see through the bottom of the door and saw that I was like moving around and like not in the tub. And then he was like, well, also like the water never changes, you know? And so, because when you're taking a shower, the water, there's different sounds, right? We all know how a shower sounds. And so I just remember getting in trouble for that and it wasn't really acknowledged of like the why. It was just you shouldn't be doing this.
Mm.
Change it. I got in trouble. And so as an adult, there is thankfully no one here to like bust my balls about it, but I notice that it is something that I do. So when I find that I am not showering daily, and for me, I do love a long hot shower. Neutrogena's, I think it's rain shower, like their body wash that it's green and has a scent of rain. That on like a thick sponge. It's
Is
therapeutic.
that something I need to get?
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, let me give me a second. I'll run in my tub and grab it so you can see it. But they come in big sizes. There's like four different fragrances.
Mhm.
Um, when I'm in the store, honestly, I just screw off the top and smell them. Just put the top back on, just to see which one is best for me. The rain really just takes me somewhere else. So it's not like I don't enjoy the shower. It's just when I'm feeling in a funk, I stop doing the things that make me feel good. I stop taking care of myself and I start
Right.
um, just being in that mood,
Just existing.
just existing. And Jasmine, off camera, you really touched on like rather than being in the mood, focusing back on what the goals are. And
Hmm.
that's something that I will admit in my coping through my trauma, I have allowed myself to focus on the mood. And that's worked in the past, but moving forward, I I may need to start focusing more on my goals and reminding myself of that. So I say all that the steps I take to get back on the wagon. I first reevaluate. Uh, I plan out what the steps are to get out of this hole. For me, I describe my depression as being in a hole. And I check in with myself and then I commit. Now, these steps aren't necessarily happening all in the same day in a couple of hours. This might span over a week. We're being real. And but
Right.
yeah, for me the commitment is like, okay, turning over that new leaf. And I've gotten better about giving my grace about how many times I have to start over at something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then is it like starting over if you are still doing the things, right? We just have ebbs and flows. We have more times when we are more consistent and other times where we are less consistent. And
Yeah.
just because we stop doesn't mean that it has to be looked at as starting over. It's just picking up where you left off.
I like that.
And I think that is so important because I find that that's why people have a hard time jumping back in is because they feel like it's them starting over.
Mm,
And so if we're able to reframe that and see it for what it is, you're not starting back at point A. You're probably starting at H or I or J. And so understanding that all of the things from step A to point A to H helped you get there. And so you're just jumping back in there with more
yeah,
information so that you can continue doing what you need to do so you can see it through.
I like that.
Right.
Jumping back in.
And to that point, also, like, let's say you lose all this weight and then you gain it back, right?
Mm,
Again, you're not going from start A, because you've had this experience, you know what to do, you have this insight. And so it's just a matter of setting yourself up and doing those things that you know worked in the past.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so that's a little of like how I kind of look at it for myself. Um, I have months where I'm super dedicated, where I'm on top of it, where I'm hitting the macros and tracking and doing all these things. And then I'll have like a couple weeks where maybe I go on vacation and I worked out once and maybe did some what's it called, activities, and that was my workout for the day. Um, and then I have that adjustment phase of coming back home and trying to get back in the wagon, right? And so ideally I do like to bring workout clothes so that I do have the option to work out should I feel. um but I think that coming back and starting on Monday again is what works for me. So let's say I come back on vacation on Thursday, I can attempt to like be like, all right, bitch, we're back on it. We're doing these things. And I found that that doesn't tend to work for me. I like to be like, okay, well, maybe I'll go to brunch with my friend on the weekend and then I'll really like get back to it on Monday. And I think that giving myself that flexibility allows me to one still be able to live life, right? Because we're not alive just to diet and lose weight. Like we are supposed to connect with our friends and go in a brunch, like, who am I to say no? Who am I?
I
You
never turn
know,
down a brunch.
right, ever. Um, but that has been helpful for me. And some steps that I take also is like reflecting. If I notice like there's been a series of things that I haven't done, like I mentioned before, I was like, damn, I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't done this. Then I'm like, okay, well, why haven't I done those things? And like America said, getting curious about what is happening so that I can then say, oh, I'm in a depressive episode. Nice. Now that I am aware of what's going on, I can address it. But if you're not aware of what's happening, then you're going to have challenges getting back to where you should be.
Yeah.
And so I like to just kind of reflect and get curious about what's going on, make those adjustments as they come up. Also reminding myself, like Jasmine said, that it does feel good to take care of myself. And so I know that going on vacation for me and being more liberal with what I'm eating, it can get me back into that mode of like wanting to have whatever I want. And so reminding myself that I do tend to feel better, emotionally and physically when I'm eating more nutrient dense foods,
Mhm.
and having more protein and working out, like knowing that I do feel better when I do take care of myself. And then making a plan. I reach out to my friends and I also post on my TikTok for accountability posts, so that I can hold myself accountable. Like, this is what I said I was going to do. This is what I said I wanted for myself. And so I'm transparent when I don't do what I say I'm supposed to do, and I'm transparent when I am hitting what I'm supposed to be doing. But I think that you can't really make the progress that you want if you're not being honest with yourself about what's going on. And so that's why tracking works for me, because I am being accountable. If I'm not tracking what I'm eating, then it didn't happen. That cookie, I didn't have it. What do you mean? What are you talking about? But being able to see like that I hit my macros, that I was able to factor in that cookie that I lied about, right? And still hit my goals, like that helps me to stay focused and to get back on track. Um, I reach out to my friends, like I said, and let them know of my goals so that they can be helping me be accountable and checking in on me. And sometimes I'll like talk to one of my friends, like, hey, I just had this for breakfast. And they'll say, like, oh, I just had this for breakfast. And so that kind of accountability also is helpful for me. But obviously, don't just take it upon yourself to start doing that, making sure that the person is open to being like your accountability person as well. Um, and just leading with compassion instead of saying, like, oh, bitch, you did not wake up this morning to work out like you said you was, saying, like, okay, what I needed was rest. And so I listened and rested. And so I'll make it a point to work out when I get back after my client, whatever the case may be, even if it's a 20-minute ride, that's better than nothing. Um, and giving myself that grace and that accountability has been what's been helpful for me.
Yeah. I do want to say that, like, a lot of what we talk about, a lot of the first step or that initiation is self awareness. And so if you're listening to these episodes and you're kind of like, oh, like, where do I start? Or I haven't picked up on these things, or self awareness just isn't in your arsenal yet, then the first thing to do would be to seek therapy. It's through therapy that you're given the tools to start that introspective journey, which I think is why the three of us talk about self awareness so freely and openly. Hey,
Okay. Um, I am back though, but don't do me. Um, you're right. Self awareness is a huge part of a majority of the things that we talk about, and I think that if therapy isn't accessible for somebody, then it can also just be being willing to spend time with yourself, just with yourself, and being mindful of what's happening in your present moment. It can increase your self awareness too, because a lot of times we avoid spending time with ourselves because we don't want to feel the feels. We don't want to be honest with ourselves about our behaviors or lack thereof. So you sit in that quiet, you get really clear on how you feel, you get clear on what you want to feel, what you've been doing, what you haven't been doing. That's going to increase your level of self awareness too, making sure that you're doing that again from a place of compassion and not with criticism, because that ain't gonna do shit for you anyway. And so with that being said, my self-awareness is interesting because it's there and it's loud all the time, which I think can be anxiety provoking a good bit of the time, but also super helpful. So, like how Jasmine just said, if I realize that if I didn't get up early enough that morning to go do a ride or do whatever, then it's like, okay, well, then I'll do it when I'm done with the day. As long as I do something to move my body that's not focused around this dog and it's for me, then like that counts too. And just making sure to hold the space for that, because life is hard enough. There's no sense in us being meaner to ourselves, right? And so we can acknowledge what we've done or what has gone wrong when we're trying to get back on track without beating our own asses, because there's really no point for that. We human. Sometimes we're gonna miss workouts. Sometimes we're gonna eat the Chick-fil-A and get the wings and the fries. Sometimes you gonna drink a whole bottle of whatever and do whatever, because you human and you hopefully are taking time to do things that bring you joy and comfort. And sometimes that come in the shape of food and drinks with your friends at brunch. That's just how it is. And so
Right.
holding space for those things are gonna happen. Because if they
Right.
don't, you're gonna be miserable. Yeah, you're gonna be snatched, but you're gonna be miserable as hell. That's just
Right.
how I know. Been there, did that. And it doesn't have to derail you completely that you missed this morning's workout or that you didn't work out all 5 days of the week. It doesn't have to do that. And I think when we have this all or nothing thinking, that
Mhm.
greatly impacts our ability to be able to stay on track too. I didn't do it. I said I was going to do it. I went
Right.
from 0 days to 7 days, and I only did it 4, and so I didn't fell off. Well, actually, you're doing better this week than you was doing before.
Right.
You was doing 0, and now you're doing 3. So how can we build on that, right? So just being clear about what's really happening. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and another thing is not waiting. So, like I said, if I realize I didn't work out that morning, then we're gonna work out sometime during that day. I don't.
Right.
I don't care if it's. I'm not waiting till Monday. What am I waiting to Monday for? What am I
Mm-hmm.
waiting to Sunday for? There's no need. That's an extra couple of days going past for you to still be even more critical of yourself during that time
Right.
that you're not doing what you say you want to do. So
Right.
I believe in jumping back in because why not?
Right.
And then sometimes it might just mean starting off small. I told y'all off camera that, like, for me, sometimes a lot of it is comparing a different version of myself that I
Mm-hmm.
sometimes wish I still was. And so that woman looked a lot different and did things a lot differently. And so I find myself comparing me now to her then, but then also I just have to realize that those are two different versions of myself. And so I got to
Right.
start and meet myself where I am right now based on what the hell I got going on, because what I got going on now is not what I had going on then. And
Mhm.
Right.
so reframing my goals, and not just fitness, because I feel like this has turned into that, but not just like fitness goals, but just life goals in general, by making smaller goals that are more obtainable, and then
Right.
rebuilding my confidence in that way
Mm-hmm.
so that I can do what I need to get done.
Absolutely.
I feel you on that. I think about that past version of myself a lot too. For me, it used to be, well, what if I was never sexually assaulted when I was 20? Because I was right at just that
Mhm.
cusp of like in my groove.
Mhm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
where would I be? Who would I be? What would my
Mhm.
mindset be like had that not happened? Because I
Mhm.
felt really up until I turned 30 that it had stunted me.
Mhm.
I would beat myself up because I mean, it took me the rest of my 20s to really deal. And then I turned 30 and I was just determined that I was not going to carry that into this next decade. And then 2 weeks later, we lose Colby.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been fighting I see myself slipping. And I really have been trying to fight it like, no, like I spent my 20s nursing that trauma. Like I cannot spend this decade nursing my grief. Um, so it's just, yeah. I think about that past girl. I will say though that for me, I feel that once my physical matches how I feel on the inside, then I will be unstoppable. Because when I was botting and bopping, because again, the original Hot Girls of 2012, uh, period. Uh, you know, I did not have the insides to match that. You know what I mean? Like I was not her on the inside. Um, so yeah, you always be ready because once I get it together, ooh.
You are hilarious.
The way
Get
I
my
can
shit
relate to this
together.
and the way you sound like me a couple days ago, I literally told that man, I said, baby, once I can get this anxiety, prepare
To be sick of me.
to be the fuck sick of me.
Period.
Yeah.
Exclamation point. Big facts.
Yeah.
Um, Lots of things were said and lots of thoughts came up. Um, I want, and I know that you weren't talking to me, but I felt the need to say that as far as like vacationing goes, that's me. I come back on Monday and I'll be back on it.
Mm,
As far as like if I don't work out on Tuesday, let's say like I don't work out on Tuesday and I'm doing a challenge. I'm not about to wait again. Like I'm like, okay, Wednesday, day number whatever was Tuesday. You know, I also don't believe in like starting working out on Monday. You
Mm-mm.
know, like I feel like why do you have to wait to start working out? Like you could literally work out today. And just because you ate something unhealthy doesn't mean that you gotta wait till tomorrow to work out. But that's how my brain used to work when I was younger, when I was snatched and the insides were
A mess.
right. I'm like, because when I was like overweight, oh, the depression, the untreated depression came through as irritability, as mean girl, like, And so then I lost weight and then I did get like a little more positive, but then also like mean girl still, surroundings and all of that. So now I feel like I've done so much work to be a positive person in general, and to be the person that I am. And so once I'm done having kids and I could just really just lose weight, baby, baby,
Yeah.
they're going to be like, but you're a mom. I know. Where's your shirt?
Over
What's a
there.
shirt?
Over there somewhere.
But do you see this? It's an ab.
Too funny.
Right. Um, but yeah, I think you just have to be aware of what's happening and make a plan,
Yeah.
and not be so rigid in your plan. Leave space for very human experiences. And just continue to hustle and motivate
Yeah.
yourself. Because sometimes you're going to have to motivate yourself. A lot of times you're going to have to motivate yourself in a positive way. Not like, oh, don't you want to be this skinny 17-year-old version of yourself? Like, that's not helpful.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I got some good insight. America always with the gems.
For real.
We talking, sure.
I knew she was going to say that. I literally said it right before she said that in my head.
I just be talking.
But yes, hopefully you got something good from this and you're able to get back on the wagon for yourself, whether that's your fitness goals, financial goals, personal goals. Um, I hope that you are able to achieve them. So just remember you can hit the gym every day, you can drink kale smoothies every day, you can do 1,600 steps a day, but if you're ignoring the things going on in your head and in your heart, then you're still not truly healthy. So go on ahead and seek therapy. I said we all need that shit.
We out here.
We will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.